Welcome to the complete Reaper guide for all of Reaper's abilities, techniques, map tricks, and more. Reaper acts as a strong short-range DPS hero that can be effective as a frontline tank killer or a side flanker assassin. So with a bit of that short info, let's get you mastering Overwatch's offensive flanker. Wraith Form. Wraith Form grants Reaper invincibility and a slight speed boost for a short period of time. This movement option serves as Reaper's escape option after a Death Blossom that doesn't wipe the team, or a flank that gets the enemy's attention. Since this doesn't last long, you'll want to pick up health packs or seek out a friendly healer while in this form. While in usage, you may not use any other abilities or shoot. Also keep in mind that this ability cannot be cancelled. Has a cooldown of 8 seconds and is mapped to your left shift. Shadow Step. This acts as Reaper's final movement option. Point your cursor to a point you'd like to teleport to and confirm. Reaper will then teleport to the area. However, there is a considerable ending lag and a fairly loud voice line, both of which will alert your enemies to your position. Note that while immobilized, you can still be damaged, so be very careful when using this. Shadow Step also has a limited range, but as you play more, you should gain a mental note of it. This ability has a cooldown of 10 seconds. The Reaping. This is Reaper's passive ability. Whenever an enemy is killed from you or a teammate, a soul globe is spawned. A soul globe can heal 50 health to you and despawn after a short while. These soul globes are exclusive to you, so if you have an ally Reaper, don't be afraid to consume it. They will have their own soul globe waiting for them. This passive is essential to your playstyle because it allows Reaper to keep a healthy state while always being flanking away from your team without always having to seek out health packs or a healer. Time for the ultimate, Death Blossom, Reaper's infamous ult. This AoE attack has a short range but massive damage. It can be interrupted by stuns or dying. Can be blocked by shields, barriers, and D.Va's defense matrix. You can still move while using Death Blossom, but your speed is heavily decreased. It also cannot be cancelled. It lasts for 3 seconds. When to use your abilities. For Wraith Form, there's really a lot of reasons for it, but really the main one is for, like I said in the beginning, you have to go into escape from a flank. When you pick one off and then the rest, so you usually can just pop that, run out, hopefully you get to like 1 or 2 teammates and then you'll be safe. After that, you can run to a healer in like a team fight because you'll be immobilized, and in this state you can still be healed, so it's all good. And after you die, you can Wraith Form back to the objective because it does give you a speed boost, and any speed boost going back to the objective can help you win that game or the whole match. Or you could even use Wraith Form if you're trapped in a Junkrat trap because you will still be unable to be damaged, so it's pretty good. They're going to want to use Shadow Step to get an advantage on the enemy. Of course, you're always going to use it to be flanking, like on the Volskaya gap, which I'll be showing you later. And also, you want to get a higher vantage point, like when you're attacking on Volskaya, maybe you want to get up on the building to maybe kill a Hanzo or a Pharah that is staying up there. Another great use for Shadow Step is setting up a Death Blossom from above, which not many teams will be prepared for and can get you a very easy team wipe. This ability can also be used to getting back to objectives because it gives you really good distance, and you don't really need to use Shadow Step all that often, even though it has that really long cooldown time. Now, Death Blossom, people just like to pop this whenever, which is really crazy to me whenever I see an enemy pop it. Like, they'll pop it with like one person with low health, and that is the opposite of what you want to be doing. You're going to be wanting to use your ult when the enemy team isn't really paying attention to you and you can get the jump on them, because if they know where you are, they're going to either stun you or defense matrix, or the Ryan's going to turn your shield to him. But if you can get behind the whole enemy team without them knowing and pop that ult, that is a way to like wipe a point or a payload in an instant. I recommend at least 2 people if they are good to Death Blossom, but if it's like a D.Va and a Ryan, don't do it, because first of all, they'll probably kill you or block it, or so it's just not a good trade right there. For positioning for Reaper, you're going to want to almost always be flanking. It sounds like very bad, but he is a flanker role for a reason. I would say don't always be flanking, because you're going to want to be pushing with your team whenever you're going to try to get into an objective or pushing that payload. But if you have Death Blossom, you're going to want to be flanking, because if you can get behind the enemy team and pop that ult, that's basically a team wide in about 3 seconds. Now please do not use your abilities in these ways. For Wraith Form, do not lead into a Death Blossom. If you're running into a group of enemies and you're using it, you're going to want to come from behind where they don't see you, not from straight forward, because if you go in with Wraith Form, everyone knows what you're going to do. McCree's going to stun you, and it's going to hit you with the Sleep Dart. Everybody's going to focus you down. Do not Wraith Form into a Death Blossom. Now Shadow Step, most of the time you don't want to use it to escape because of the long cooldown, and you'll just be sitting there until you teleport, and even when you do teleport, you can still be attacked. And do not Shadow Step into the enemy team, because there is a cooldown, not the ability cooldown, but you're going to be sitting there for about a second where you can still be damaged. So don't Shadow Step into the enemy team to then Death Blossom. That is very bad. Now Death Blossom, all of these reasons why you shouldn't use it sounds like a really bad ult, but it is really good. You shouldn't be using Death Blossom when Roadhog, McCree, D.Va, Anna is aware that you're about to ult, because they all have abilities or ways to stop that. I would say don't solo ult, that's for all heroes, but with Reaper it's you shouldn't solo ult, because you could use that to get a team kill and you're just over here trying to boost your kill death ratio. It's not that good. And also don't use Death Blossom when on low health, because you will get focused down before you can get all your damage in, and you'll basically do nothing, and you'll have to wait for your next ult. Button mapping. Since Reaper doesn't have an alt fire, I map my right click personally to melee, because he's first of all a short range hero, and it's just so efficient to have your melee like right next to your shooting button. You don't have to reach across a keyboard or reach to a side button on your mouse, it's just right there, and it's just really efficient. Now who can Reaper counter on the enemy team? Reaper can counter Roadhog, but you have to beware of that hook, because if you get hooked, it's almost a guaranteed kill. Reaper is the tank killer of Overwatch, especially after all those McCree nerfs. You have to focus the tanks, because they are the soul of the enemy team. Reinhardt, he can't really do too much to you. Just remember that his hammer will kill you in about 3 strikes, 2 if you have some damage on you. D.Va is hard because she can just defense matrix while the other team is also fighting, but if you can get behind D.Va, it's pretty good, but also beware that Pilot D.Va may be hard to hit, but in about 2 shots or however, you just have to get those really good aims in there. Now snipers, you're going to be easy kill for them. You're going to have to sneak up behind them without you knowing, and you're going to be doing this by shadow stepping, flanking, Wraith Form like around an edge so they don't see you, and then just go up behind them while they're focusing in a shot. Winston, Reaper is the counter to Winston. Just make sure you have a lot of health, and if you start losing the fight, just Wraith Form out, get some health, and try to kill him before he can jump out or place down his shield. Now Reaper can be a counter to Reaper. You just gotta have better aim. Just have better aim. Mercy and Lucio, you have to focus these healers in a team fight. And that should be it for every hero, but for Reaper especially since you have so much DPS. Now synergy with your other teammates. These are just the characters you have synergy, and then after this we'll get into the ults you have synergy with. So for just characters, Roadhog is a very good synergy for Reaper because he can hook people into your range, and if the Roadhog doesn't one-shot them or two-shot them, you're there with the damage to kill them. Mei is also, Mei, McCree, Anna all have abilities to stun or freeze enemies, so that's just an easy kill to just walk up and focus down. Now for the ults, Zarya, everybody has synergy with Zarya, but as soon as you see your Zarya pop their ult, if you have Death Blossom, it's gonna be pretty good to ult unless like a Zen or a Lucio ults before that. Now Widowmaker also has synergy with Reaper purely because you can see when enemies are coming around corners and you could just camp, for lack of a better word for them, and then you could just focus them down. Reinhardt also has a very good ult for Reaper because he just stuns them, and then they're just on the ground, they can't do anything, and you just come with your Death Blossom. And that's the same for Mei because they're all frozen. And for Anna, a boosted Death Blossom is pretty scary. It's pretty good. Here are some of Reaper's best shadow step spots on any map. Right here on Temple of Anubis, we have right here just over the gate. When a team makes a push over here, you can just jump down and Death Blossom and get a few kills here. Over here on King's Row, everybody knows this, you can just sneak around the defending team, pretty easy. Right here on Hanamura, you can get just over the point right here. Just wait for the enemy team to come down and Death Blossom again. Really good for Death Blossoms. Oh, okay, here on Gibraltar, you can get over here, and if you can get this jump, took me a while to get it. I had to raid form, I don't know if that's a possibility, but you could, right here at the end where the payload goes, you could Death Blossom again. On Numbani, everybody knows about this, you can just go through the building and surprise the defending team when your team is at the payload. Volskaya, attacking you can make this gap, and on defending you can make the gap as well from the same spot. On Hollywood, you could sneak around the gate so that they won't see you flanking. And here on Dorado, you could go to where the payload ends to surprise the enemy team. Good flanking spot there. On Route 66, you can get all the way over here. Just go around this bridge real fast like. And you could get into the building and possibly wait for the enemy team there. Or you could just go right where the payload ends. Either way. Right here on Lady Zhang, we can get right into the point, right over it in Death Blossom, or it's just a good place to just sing some shots. On Ilios, we could do the same exact thing. And on Eichenwald, we can even flank this gate so no one can see us going to the point, and hopefully get a ninja cap, even though I haven't been able to do that yet. And with that, you know how to play Reaper now. I have a bunch of Reaper gameplay videos on here. I have Get Good with Reaper, which is more comedy, but it also shows you just how easy Reaper can be. You just have to have aim, guys, and you have to know when to flank and know when to team push. And you have to focus those healers. So the top 3 things I would say you have to know when you're playing Reaper: you gotta flank, you gotta know when to ult, and you have to focus the healers and the tanks. So that's it for me, guys, and I hope you can have a good comp season with Reaper.